Hi guys. Alright, in this video I'm going to show you what I did to my GMMK Pro to get it to feel and sound the way it does. So when it came stock, I did a sound test. The stabilizers were really bad, and though it's gasket mounted, it was very, very stiff. It almost had no flex to it at all. But you can see now, you see the keys move. It does have some flex to it. You can really notice it. You see there? It's got some flex to it. So I'll show you what I did. Right off the bat, you'll notice over here there's a gap between the top of the case and the bottom tray. And I'm also only using the 4 outside screws on the back of the case. And they're also not fully screwed in. That is because I ended up putting triple gaskets on the bottom, and I left the regular one gasket that comes pre-installed on the top. So the GMMK Pro comes with extra gaskets, and so I used almost all of them. There was only 2 left on the sheet, and I tripled up on the bottom. All the screws come out. Take the drop knob out. Oh, this guy's really in there. There we go. Top tray comes out. So on the top you can see the little black things on the side. Those are the gaskets. These come pre-installed. On the bottom, so this is the plate and PCB. It's all connected together. And you'll see on the bottom here, I've got triple gaskets going on. So it's very teak. And that's what allows it to have the amount of flex that it does. Because before with the gaskets, it was very compressed and it basically had no give. You can also see that I'm not using any case foam. I'm using the PCB foam as well as the polycarbonate plate. And I've got Boba U4Ts in here as well. I also swapped the stabilizers out to Duroc V2s that I did the Band-Aid mod on the PCB before screwing in the stabilizer, as well as on the space bar. It's Holy modded. The other ones are not. I think the Holy mod worked out pretty well. I have been having a lot of trouble tuning my stabilizers. I don't know how the other YouTubers do it. I guess they're just pros, or they've got the touch for it. But it ended up working out pretty well. So I'm just going to put the whole assembly back on. And you can see how much more room it has to compress the whole assembly onto those, look at that, onto those gaskets. So because of this, I mentioned before that I'm only using the 4 outside screws, and they're like barely screwed in. The reason for that is because if we screw it in all the way, then the whole thing compresses entirely, squishing all those bottom triple gaskets, and then you barely get any flex. So what we're going to do is just screw it in enough so it catches and the screws won't fall out and it keeps the whole assembly together, but we're not going to screw it in all the way. It is very important when doing this to go diagonally, because if you just screw in one side and then the other, it's going to cause it to tilt, and I had some issues with that before. Just kind of sandwich it together. And screw it in. So you'll see at the end, usually this is flush. It's like this. You can't see that gap right there. We're going to be leaving a gap about that much. Want to make sure it's about even on all the sides. And then we flip this guy over. You can see it's got quite a fair amount of flex to it. I'll try to get a better angle to show you. This is pretty cool. It's my first gasket mounted keyboard. You'll see my other vid, I tried doing an O-ring mount for my other keyboard, the Keychron, and that worked out not too well. I'm honestly not sure how much this actually affects the feel of the keyboard. It probably definitely affects the acoustics. It is a much softer mounting style. But especially on like really light switches, like these are 62 gram, especially if you're not bottoming out, I honestly don't think you'll notice a difference with having more flex. But if you're really heavy-handed when typing, it does help have a softer bottoming out experience. And I bottom out pretty much all the time. These are very thocky switches. Very nice to bottom out. Definitely affects sound. Feel a little bit, but it was interesting to try.